Okay.
All right, Lorena, good to see you, really. I'm happy that you made it. So,
Thank you.
today we are talking about the same pages that were programmed or planned for last week, but we are doing today because last week we weren't able to access the book, right? We had,
Yes,
yeah, so
I
that's why,
remember.
yeah. So I want to do those pages with you. So we are doing today pages 28, 29, 30, and 31 from Unit 4, okay? Headway 4, the book, right? So the topics are knowing how to use how come when we want to ask why, secrets and lies. So we will see some lies people usually tell. And the reading and speaking part for this lesson is about flight MH370 from Malaysia Airlines, right? Here, I posted a few things about the lesson. I even posted some pictures here about the disaster, right? The plane crash. Then you can take a look later on if you wish, right? But during the lesson, we will probably open them so you can see. And I also posted here some parts concerning vocabulary. Okay, so let's go there, right? All right. So this is our first part. I'm just going back a little bit, half a page, because we haven't finished this page, right? The last time
Okay.
we had the book. This is page 27, actually. So
Uh,
Unit 4, page 27, talks about questions, because in this lesson, the focus is questions and negatives, right? Later in the unit, we will talk about saying the opposite, and the everyday English part is about being polite. Okay, so many interesting things to learn. So here, um, I don't know if you remember this last exercise we did about questions. Okay, so the structure of questions in English is a little bit different from the structure of questions in our language, right? So here we have some examples. Let me zoom in, okay? I'm just recapping a little bit so you can remember what we are talking about. Here in the grammar spot, we have find examples of these in exercise 4. So questions with auxiliary verbs. So this is one kind of question that we have in English. Then I just highlighted them here. I found one. This is also considered a question with auxiliary, but it's a negative auxiliary, so it takes part here. It is part of this group. Okay, all right. So here, can I speak to Harry Jones, please? It's urgent. It starts with an auxiliary, in this case, a modal verb. Okay. Now, in green, Lorena, I highlighted a question without an auxiliary verb. Sometimes it's very common to ask questions without auxiliary verbs when you have a subject in the middle, right? So, for example, here, who gave you that black eye? Who gave you that black eye? Do you understand the meaning of black eye, by the way?
yes.
Okay, so here, as you can see, we are using who actually as the subject. Okay, so if you kind of replace the question pronoun here for the name of a person, the sentence is okay. So if you say, for example, Robert gave you that black eye, changing the sentence, okay, instead of being a question, you can imagine it's a statement, right? So just a statement, just an affirmative statement, and then you go and change here. Put a word, the name of a person, okay? So Robert gave you that black eye. So who is the subject of the sentence? Robert, okay? So here, the question pronoun is playing the part of a subject, okay? So when that happens, then we don't use auxiliary verbs, okay? Look, in this case here, let me see if we have any other green. No, only that. Yeah, there is no other green. So here, question without auxiliary verb is only question letter D, okay? Now,
Ok.
another type of question that we have is when we ask why. There are two ways to ask why in this exercise. The first one is here, letter C. How come you're not at work today? How come you're not at work today? So I'm asking why, okay? So what happened? Why aren't you at work today? The second one is letter F. Why won't you marry me? So negative questions. So it's also possible to ask a question in the negative form. It's possible. So look there, we have here the examples in yellow. Okay, don't you like my new dress? So you start the question, Lorena, with an auxiliary in the negative. Okay. Or you can use the verb in the negative following a question pronoun. That's also possible. So you say, why won't you marry me? Or why don't you love me? Okay,
Teacher, Kainan Marcos, ah,
let me say.
ele disse que vai entrar atrasado, que ele tá
Oh, okay,
trabalhando.
okay, no problem. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lorena.
You're welcome.
Let me reply here. All right, done. Thank you. Okay, so here we saw um, two examples with negative questions. Okay, the next kind of question that we have is indirect question. So here I put them in pink, right? So to differentiate. Example, tell me where you are going and who with. Why is it indirect? Because I'm using a question pronoun, sorry, but I'm not using the question form. I'm using the affirmative form as if it were not a question, but just a statement. Instead of putting the verb before the, the pronoun or the subject, I'm using the verb after the pronoun. So it's not a question order, it's a statement order. It's different. So tell me where you're going. And here I would make a mistake if, for example, I put, tell me where are you going? All right, Lorena, this would not be okay. Why does that happen? Because I have the inclusion of tell me. There is a phrase before the question pronoun. Okay, so here, let me just circle that. a little bit here. So this phrase here creates this situation. So I need to pay attention if before the question pronoun I have a phrase, then it means I have to change the position of the subject and the verb. It's not in a question formation anymore or a question order. Okay? All right. And then the
Okay.
next one, yes, you see so many different kinds, right, of questions. A question with a preposition at the end. So it's also possible. Look, I found one here, right? Uh, Tell me where you're going and who with, and then you have a period. So they finish the sentence or they finish the question with a preposition because here it's entailed that the question should be who you are going with. Because when you go, the person wants to know who is following you or who is going with you, right? But then you can minimize the sentence and just put the question pronoun and the preposition. Sometimes you have a full question and there is a preposition in the end, which means the verb takes a preposition and you need to use, right, in the questions. For example, let me talk about a verb that is super common, the verb to talk, right? So if I ask, for example, who are you talking to? Okay, so I need to use a preposition in the end in the question, right? Because I'm asking, I want to know the person, the name of the person you're talking to. Because in the answer, you will probably say either I'm talking to my mother, or I'm talking to my boyfriend, or you are going to just say, oh, it's none of your business. Okay, so, but when you use this verb, the preposition that follows is the preposition to, right? Talk to someone. So in questions with this verb, the preposition usually goes in the end. Okay. Like the same thing with the verb to go. When we go to a place, we go somewhere, right? But it's usually the preposition to. So I can ask the following question: where are you going to? Of course, I could also ask, where are you? But there is a different meaning when I say just, where are you? Okay. If I ask you, where are you now? You will say, oh, I'm at home. Okay. Now, if I ask you, where are you going to? It means that I notice you are going somewhere and I would like to know where. Right. Then you say, oh, suppose I ask you about um, this weekend, right? Tomorrow is Saturday. And then I can ask you, hey, Lorena, where are you going to? Suppose you say that you're going out, right? Let's imagine this conversation. You tell me, oh, Simone, tomorrow I'm going out. And I say, oh, really? Where are you going to? Okay, that's the context I was trying to elaborate. So, verbs that take preposition, when I use them in a question and I want to find the answer to these verbs, then the preposition comes in the end. Okay. And finally, here we have the negative statements. Statements, they are sentences that are in the negative. Okay, that's why we call them negative statements. Um, they are not negative questions, right? They are negative statements. So here I put them in brown just to make them different. So here, letter C, you have there, you're not at work today. So how come you're not? Why did I paint this one here brown if it's not really a statement, it's a question? Because it's not in a question form, okay? I'm not using a question form here because I'm using the question interrogation, sorry, the question pronoun how come, all right? So when I use how come, it's a peculiarity of this verb. I must change the position of the verb. Instead of saying, how come aren't you at work today? That would be wrong. Just because of how come, right? Whenever we use how come, we just put a statement form right after. We just invert. We change from question form to statement form, affirmative or negative. Okay, we will see that later about how come. So that's why I considered that a statement. But here we have more examples of negative statements. I don't think you fell, and I can't believe you don't love me. Okay, so these are negative statements. So can I clear my annotations here? Yep.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So this was just a brief recap on the topic, right? And then here we have a little bit of practice on negatives. Okay, let's take a look. Write 3 sentences about yourself using only negative sentences. Okay. And then after that, of course, we are not presential, so we cannot just distribute them, right? And share. But we can follow the examples here. Let's see them as a model, and we can write something similar. So let's see the examples here. The first one, can you read, Lorena, please?
Yes, I can't cook.
The next one.
I never arrive on time.
Good. And
I don't eat meat.
all right. So these are negative statements. They are not questions. They are statements. Even though here we don't have a negative auxiliary verb, I can use the word never to express a negative idea, right? I never arrive on time. All right. So we don't use auxiliary verbs with the adverb never. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good idea to to start. So let's see here if we can make um, one negative statement about ourselves. Okay. I will try to write one here myself. See how we can do. I will just put here on the book, right? I will write mine here, and you try to write one there. Then we share. Okay. All right. I wrote mine. It's right there. I don't like going out.
Really, teacher?
Yeah, really, really, Lorena. Believe me.
Nowadays, too?
Nowadays, too. Yeah, especially nowadays. Now more than ever.
but and after.
After the pandemic, like you mean when it's over?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. But I'm not a big fan of going out. Really, I'm a very quiet person. I like staying. I like staying at home. Sorry, Mariana.
No problem. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. Good to see you. Oh, how are
I'm
you,
sorry,
Sabrina?
I'm late.
Hey, good to see you. Sorry about my dog.
So,
Oh, it's really bad. I'm sorry. So, welcome, Sabrina. I'm really happy to see you.
thank you. Thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
happy to see you.
Okay. So, did you write your sentence, Lorena? Would you like to share?
Teacher. Let's go. Don't like to. Uh, I don't like to mexer no celular toda hora.
I
Like
don't like to check my cell phone all the time.
to
Okay.
check my cell phone
Okay. Me neither. Me
all the
neither.
time. I
Yeah.
don't.
Me neither. I hate it. I really don't. Especially because I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. I'm always working. So I don't have much time
But
to do it.
nowadays, it's really necessary to
Yeah.
do this thing because
Hmm.
always
Yeah.
connect,
We are all
connected.
connected. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's true. So let me just complete here so it makes the right sense you want to give to the sentence all the time. Okay, that's the meaning. Because of course, every now and then we need to check, but all the time it's really boring. Okay. All right. So, Sabrina, here we are playing with negative sentences, right? We are doing this first exercise here on page 27, okay? About negative sentences or negative situations. Like, for example, when I use the word never, we consider the sentence negative, okay? Even though the verb is in the affirmative form, okay? All right, so let me clear that and let's move on to the next activity here. Read and listen to two short conversations which expresses surprise and which is checking information. So let's listen.
Track 3. 1.
Don't you like pizza?
I can't stand it. I know most people love it, but I don't.
2.
Haven't we met somewhere before?
Yes, I think we have. Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Listen one more time.
Track 3. 1.
Don't you like pizza?
I can't stand it. I know most people love it, but I don't.
2.
Haven't we met somewhere before?
Yes, I think we have. Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Great. So which one here expresses surprise?
The first one.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah, first one.
Great, yes. So, and as you notice, they start the question with a verb in the negative, right? And they use an auxiliary in the negative form. So, don't you like pizza? It's like, oh my God, everybody likes pizza. Okay, but don't you like pizza? And then he answers, I can't
I
stand it.
will change my cell phone, my notebook now. Okay, I will go out, but I will I will return in my notebook. Okay.
Okay, all right, Sabrina, we'll be waiting for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, the next one here. Haven't we met somewhere before? Hmm, I think I know you. You look familiar. So, haven't we met somewhere before? Again, I start the question with a negative auxiliary. But the idea here is not surprise anymore. What is the idea?
Check information.
Yes, great. So here we can see that um, we have two ways or two reasons to start a question with a negative verb or to even make a negative question, either because we are expressing surprise or because we are just checking information. Okay, this is what they want us to notice. Okay, good. So now listen again and repeat. Practice the stress and intonation. So these kinds of sentences, they have a special intonation, right? So listen one more time and let's repeat afterwards.
Track 3. 1.
Don't you like pizza?
I can't stand it. I know most people love it, but I don't.
2.
Haven't we met somewhere before?
Yes, I think we have. Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Okay, so let's try to repeat. Let's try it out.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Don't you like pizza?
Don't you like pizza?
Yes, you see, we use a rising intonation when we start a question with an auxiliary verb. The intonation in this kind of question is always rising. Okay, so don't you like pizza? Okay, don't you like pizza? Great. Hi,
Hi,
Marcus.
Marcos.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, good to see you. Oh, how's it going, Marcus? Oh, you were at work. Oh my God. How nice. Good, Marcus. So, ah, how nice. Oh, let me take a picture now that I have all of you here. So let me take a picture. Okay, so let's do the other one.
2.
Haven't we met somewhere before?
Yes, I think we have. Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Haven't we met somewhere before? Yes, I think we have. Hasn't it? Hasn't it?
Wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It at Maria's party?
Uh-huh. Okay. So let me give you some tips about linking words. So here, when we start the second one here, we say, haven't we met somewhere before? You don't really put pauses here in the middle, okay? We just say them in a row. So let's go. Haven't we met somewhere before?
Haven't we met somewhere before?
Good. Much better. And yes, I think we have. Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Yes, I think we have. Wasn't it?
Wasn't
my
it?
God.
Look, the final,
Wasn't
the final T we don't pronounce, okay? It's
Okay, okay.
silent, so wasn't it? Wasn't it? So we go from N to I, okay? So wasn't it at Maria's party?
Wasn't it at Maria's party?
Great, perfect, very good. So here we have another example of negative interrogative. So let me highlight that one for you. Let me just see the color I'm painting them. I think it's green. I'm not so sure. Well, let's see. Yeah, here. Okay, just so you know that this one here, we're asking in the negative just like the others, but this one we are checking information. So my color is wrong. I have to put the same color as here. So sorry, guys. All right. Now it's okay. I was trying to remember what we were doing. So the one in pink, I'm expressing surprise. The ones in blue, I'm checking information. All right, good. So now, people, let's see. Oh, beautiful. I love when it happens. I'm trying to move the page, but I haven't disabled the markers. So let's see, guys. Add an answer about these things. Sorry, ask an answer about these things using negative questions. Example, here, you should say or you should show you were surprised. Okay, so here, like ice cream. So we need to ask a question first, okay? But showing surprise. How can I ask?
Don't like ice cream?
Yes, please. Can you repeat, please, Larissa?
Don't you like ice cream?
Yes, great. Very nice. So when I say, when I ask this question, I'm showing that I'm really surprised. I go, hey, everybody likes ice cream. Don't you like
Yeah.
ice cream? Okay.
My prefer is passas ao vinho.
Oh, how nice. That's really good. That's your favorite. Oh,
And recently, I don't know, descobri,
I discovered.
I discovered one passas ao vinho. It's
Wow.
very nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
very
nice.
good.
Raisins. Like we would say raisins and wine. That would be
Yeah,
the name of the ice cream flavor. That's really exotic. It's different.
yeah,
Raisins
it's
and
very
wine.
nice.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so let's see the next one here. Oh, by the way, Lorena, I forgot to ask you, which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite flavor?
Yeah, I think it's chocolate.
Ah, me too. I
Classic.
love chocolate.
Classic.
Yes, look at the pronunciation, Lorena. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Lit.
Let's
Yeah,
chocolate.
chocolate. Yes, it's funny.
Chocolate.
It's funny, but that's the way it is. We change chocolate. All right, now let's see. The next one. Have a smartphone. How can I show surprise asking a question using these prompts?
Don't you have it on a smartphone?
Okay, just a little thing there we'll fix. Don't you have, sorry. Oh my goodness, what's going on with my dog? So, don't you have a smartphone?
Don't you have a smartphone?
So here we don't have letter N or any other thing. It's just have a smartphone. So try to say that. Have a
Okay.
smartphone.
Have a smartphone.
Good. Don't you have a smartphone? Okay. All right, Lorena.
Okay, teacher, okay.
Sabrina, try to say that, please. Don't you have a smartphone? Sabrina, are you there? Yes, probably she's busy with something, but that's okay. Let's move on to the next, okay? We have can and swim. So let's try that one too. Let's see.
Don't you can swim?
Oops, not really. But the idea is the same. We need to start with a negative auxiliary. So
Okay.
in this case, the auxiliary is can. The verb is swim. So I have to use
You
can.
can swim?
So it's a question. Okay, so can you swim? Yes, that would be, yeah, that would be the right sequence. Can't you swim? Of course, guys, in a very colloquial situation, in informal speech, of course, you can show surprise by using the statement form. Instead of saying, can't you swim? You can say, you can't swim. Okay. Oh, that's noisy. All right, okay, Sabrina. So your example is not wrong because a lot of people say like this. Instead of putting the auxiliary first in a situation of surprise, you can keep the normal sequence of the sentence, the affirmative, so or the negative, right? You can make a statement,
Okay,
but
teacher.
your intonation will show how you feel. So you can't swim? Come on, no kidding, right? But here we are practicing with questions. So the auxiliary goes first. All right. Can't you swim? Now, let's see the second possibility for using negative interrogatives. Okay. I'm just checking. So how can we do the first one?
Um, isn't
Very good, Sabrina. Keep going.
isn't your birthday today?
Yes.
Isn't it? Ah, tá.
Okay.
Is your birthday today? Ah, it's that intonation. You
Yes.
need
Uh-huh.
explain with intonation. Isn't it
Yes.
your birthday today? Yes.
Yes. Yes. You were checking it, but just one thing here about pronunciation. This final T we don't pronounce, okay? When I say isn't, and I link with this pronoun here,
Mhm.
I usually don't pronounce the T. I say, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yes. Isn't it your birthday today?
Okay.
Try to say that, Lorena, please.
Isn't it your birthday today?
Okay, so let's see the pronunciation. This here, I'm going to put down here so you can see better. This T here at the end, we do not pronounce. So we omit because we link the letter N to the letter I of the pronoun that follows. So we say, instead of saying isn't it, we say isn't it?
Okay. Isn't it your
Yes,
birthday today?
good. Isn't it your birthday today?
Isn't I teacher? Can you
Yes, sure.
repeat, please?
Yes. Isn't it your birthday today?
Isn't it your birthday today?
Oh, right. Little by little, with time, you will naturally omit the consonants when they are not necessary. Okay. In this case here,
Okay.
you can also minimize the pronunciation of T from the pronoun. Instead of saying it your birthday, you can say, isn't it your birthday today? Isn't it? You kind of omit the final T, okay?
Okay, teacher.
So, but with time, you will learn how to do it naturally, okay? Just keep
Okay.
practicing. So very nice. Here in this question, we are checking information. I just want to make sure um, I'm giving you the present or I'm sending you the card on the right day, right? Because I'm sending you a message, compliment you for your birthday, and I'm not so sure if it's really today. So I want to check. Isn't it your birthday today? Right? Next one.
Mm, uh, don't you work uh, don't you work in New York for a while?
Okay. It is a negative question, yes, but we just need to observe this expression here, for a while. For a while entails or gives the idea of something temporary. A
Okay.
temporary action, yes, a temporary action. So because of this, instead of using the simple present, I should use the present continuous, okay? So let's try to do
Mm,
it in the present continuous form. The same subject, you, okay?
Don't you going?
Pay attention.
aren't aren't-
Aren't you going?
Yes, very good. Aren't you going or aren't you working? Okay. Aren't
aren't
you
you
Okay.
working
working?
in New York for a while? All right. So this expression for a while gives the idea of something temporary, and then we need to conjugate the verb in the present continuous, right? So aren't you working in New York for a while? Sorry guys. Aren't you working in New York for a while? Try to say that.
Aren't you working in New York for a while?
Good, Sabrina. Go ahead, Lorena.
Aren't you working in New York for a while?
Okay. All right. New York. New
New
York.
York.
Good. Now let's go to the next one. Live on Baker Street. Baker Street.
Aren't you living aren't
Why?
you living on Baker Street?
Baker Street. Let's see.
Baker Street?
Why are you using present continuous here? Where is the indicator of something temporary?
Because live in present in present in a moment
So
at moment.
you leave, I mean, of course, it's possible to live temporarily somewhere, but usually the verb to live indicates a permanent state, or at least something for a considerable amount of time, right? You just don't live for 2 days, for example, in a place. And, well, that's possible, but it's not common. Usually, when you live somewhere, you live for a period, for a certain time. So we can consider that a permanent situation, unless there is a special case. For example, you are remodeling your apartment, there is some construction going on in your house, and you need to move temporarily to somebody else's house, your parents, and then you say, oh, I'm living with my family, I'm living with my mother now, but I'm going back to my place next month. So then it's temporary. Okay. Right now, I'm living with my mother, but I'm moving back to my place next month. Here, they don't have any indication of temporary activity or something temporary. So we understand that this is permanent. Okay. So because of that, we we should choose the simple present. Okay. So let's go there. Don't you live on Baker Street? Let's just abbreviate the way it is. And then, all right, there we have the question. Okay, Sabrina. Okay, Lorena.
Okay, teacher.
Yes?
Okay, teacher.
Do you understand? Yes.
Yeah.
It's very simple. When we notice that they use an indicator of time, then we conjugate the verb in that time. But here, for example, we have an indication of present continuous. Here, it's an indication of simple present, but it's the verb to be. Here, we have the verb to live. And here, we have just the name of a street. So it's nothing indicating time. When we have this situation, we just go ahead and use the simple present. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So this topic um, boils down to, when should I use negative interrogative? When? First, when I'm showing surprise, or when I'm just checking the information. Okay. These are the two most common cases. All right. So let me just zoom out and clear my drawings. Is it okay, guys, for me to clear that? I just forgot to ask you.
Yes, teacher. No
Yes,
Yeah.
problem.
now it's a big mess. Sorry about it, guys. Okay. So down here, guys, we will see the images from the previous page activity, right? So these are situations where people tell lies, and then we have them here. They started out here, actually, right? Beginning of unit 4. Look, okay? And this is exactly what they are doing. They are telling lies, or they are lying. They are not telling the truth. So here we associate it here. We put who the people might be, who are the people involved. Okay. So here we have the examples. Look, think of some lies that these people might tell. We saw that. previously. And then we saw some examples. Look, all the people in the pictures are lying. The question here is who to? Who are they lying to? And why? Okay. Then I don't know if you remember that first page, but I can show you briefly so you know the situations. Sorry, Greg. It's not that I don't love you. It's just that I'm not ready for marriage yet. Okay. So look at his face. Next one.
Mhm.
Nobody hit me. I fell down on the playground. Honestly, it looks great. It really suits you. So they are all telling lies. And just because we are seeing the negative statements, we can highlight them here. Look, let's put the negative statements there. Look, nobody hit me. This is a negative statement. Okay. Another one, I don't love you. I'm not ready for marriage yet. Here we have affirmative statements, but this is very, very wrong. She's telling a lie, a big lie. Look at these ones here, number 4. Look, Dad, I'm just going over to Emma's. We have some homework to do together. I'll be back in a couple of hours. Big lie. Look at the next one. Believe me, Mr. Dixon, I am sick. I'm in bed with a temperature.
Oh my God.
That,
This is the
look at that.
best.
Yeah. Poor guy. Poor guy. Look at number 6. I'm afraid Miss Jones is in a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Look, my goodness, this is terrible. All right, girls. So is everything okay with this page? Now I can zoom out. You see a lot of colors, but it's easier to visualize, okay? Let's move on now to our page 28. So guys, here we have still on the topic of telling lies, okay? We have the story of this guy here. His name is Fred, okay? And to start, they want us to see some words that will be in the listening, okay? So make a negative statement or a negative sentence about these people. Use your dictionary if necessary. So let's see some situations here, okay? First, we have vegetarians, okay? Atheists. You know what they are, right? Let's see if we need help
Yes.
there. The atheist is a person who doesn't believe in God, okay? Insomniacs. Insomniacs. Who are insomniacs? Do you know?
I don't know, teacher.
Do you know, Sabrina? No?
I don't know.
Yes. Marcus
I don't know.
said,
Maybe. I don't know.
insomniac in the singular.
Insomnia.
Uh, we are actually talking about people who suffer from insomnia, right? So here, an insomniac is a person who has difficulty sleeping.
Okay.
Okay, so if you say, for example, oh, I can't sleep, Simone, every night it's so difficult for me to sleep. I can't. And then I tell you, oh, Sabrina, it seems that you are an insomniac. You should see a doctor. Okay, So here, all the names, right? All the adjectives. I mean, not adjectives, but all the nouns, because I'm describing someone, but I'm giving the name of those kinds of people. So we have a group, right? In general, vegetarians, then atheists, insomniacs, dyslexics. What is a dyslexic person? Do you know?
Dislexo,
Yes,
dislexia.
yes, a person who can't read or write appropriately. Okay, this person has difficulties reading or writing, so dyslexic. And pacifists, that's similar to Portuguese, right? A
Yeah.
pacifist is a person who is always advocating for peace. Okay, and naturist or naturists in the plural. What is a naturist?
Realista,
Sorry?
naturalista.
Yes, those people here in the plural, because we are referring to people who like to practice nudism. They sometimes take off their clothes outdoors, right? But in specific places. Usually they have naturist beaches or clubs or even parks where they can take off their clothes and just feel comfortable, naked,
Ah, ok, ok. Uhum.
right? I think there is a beach like that here in Rio. I don't know where it is. I've never been there,
Tem um
but
perto da Praia da
Yeah,
Reserva.
yes, that's it, Marcus. That's true.
praia
Yeah.
de nudismo.
Yes. Yes. So the name of the people, we call these people who practice this kind of living naturists. Naturists.
Natu-
Naturists.
um,
Yeah. The
Natura.
stress, the stress is on the second syllable. Okay.
Eu não sirvo
Naturists.
para isso, não.
Me neither. Me neither. Okay, so now that we've seen the vocabulary, they want us to make a negative sentence about these people. So, vegetarians, for example, what can we say about them?
Hum,
Vegetarians don't eat meat.
Excellent.
Don't.
Okay, perfect. Now, atheists or atheists, sorry.
Esse é o quê, professora?
Atheist is a person who doesn't believe in God.
Don't believe in God.
Yes,
Atheists don't believe in
atheists
God.
don't believe in God.
Atheists.
Okay, atheists don't believe in God. Next one, insomniacs. I'm just marking, yeah,
Uh,
just marking here the stressed syllable, okay? So let's make,
okay. Insomniacs.
Insomniacs
Don't sleep.
can't uh
Can't sleep.
yes,
yeah
can't sleep easily.
Ah, okay.
We can say like this. Oh my God, they can't sleep easily. It's really hard for them to fall asleep. They need to take medication sometimes, right? So they can fall asleep, but usually they can't. They can't sleep easily. They can't fall asleep easily. Let's make it easier to understand because can't sleep is too radical. They can't fall asleep. To fall asleep is the same as to turn off, okay? It's when you are able to actually sleep. So we use the expression fall asleep, okay? In Portuguese, it would be something like pegar no sono, okay? So they can't
Eu não tenho
fall
esse problema,
asleep
não.
easily. Oh, me neither. Me neither. I sleep like a baby. I mean, I fall asleep like a baby, but my night is not as smooth. I wake up many times. Yeah, I can't sleep all night long without interruptions. Unfortunately, I wake up a lot. I don't know about you. What about you guys? Do you fall asleep easily?
Yes, I think
Wow.
so, but
And do you wake up during the night?
No,
uh,
I hardly
sometimes
wake.
to drink water or to go to the
To go
bathroom.
to the bathroom? Yeah, me
Yeah.
too, me too. What about you, Sabrina?
No, no. I drink water before and after only in the morning. I wake up only in the morning.
Oh,
I don't wake up and during the night. Oh, no, only in the morning.
how nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good, Sabrina. I envy you.
I
Oh,
love sleep.
me too, me too. I love sleeping. Wow, I really do. I really do.
Quero
But
ver vocês trabalharem
unfortunately,
de madrugada.
ah, terrible.
Eu acabei,
Marcus.
It's not
eu
me,
acabei de vir de uma
Marcos. It is not
madrugada.
for me.
Oh no,
Working at night is not for me. No.
Se eu
me
dormir, eu
neither.
derrubo a porra toda aqui na Michelin.
Wow. Marcus, you are something. I really admire you. I could never work during the night. Never.
Sorte de vocês.
Overnight. Impossible.
A,
No
a,
way.
so- a sorte de vocês, que aqui são 6 noites diretas.
Wow.
My,
Do you do you sleep well during a day?
during the day?
You during the day you can sleep well? Can you sleep well?
Eita, eu durmo só um pouquinho na minha refeição, um pouquinho. A noite toda
Oh,
acordada trabalhando.
What about during the day, Marcus?
São 6 dias diretos, professora, trabalhando assim.
My goodness, Marcus, but don't you sleep during the day?
Aí quando eu durmo, mas bem pouco. Eu durmo
3 hours, 4 hours.
So
How
say,
much?
por volta de, eu durmo
How
por
many
dia,
hours do you sleep?
quando eu horário de madrugada, por volta de 3 a 4 horas por dia.
Wow.
E a base de energético.
oh
Wow.
my
Are you
goodness,
crazy?
Marcus.
No último dia, nesse último horário agora, eu fiquei praticamente 48 horas acordado.
No way. 48 hours awake? Wow.
Aí no último foi a base de energético.
You
Crazy
need to
work.
change your work. You need a job.
Yeah, you need another job, Marcus.
You need to change your
Have you ever thought, really, seriously now, have you ever thought of changing jobs?
Eu tenho que aprender meu inglês logo para poder mudar de serviço.
Ah! Oh my goodness, that's funny. Oh. But I hope you can really do it fast because,
Poor
wow,
Marcos.
wow, poor Marcus.
Essa semana
Terrible.
ainda é de 4 à meia-noite. Eu só cheguei em casa 1 hora da
Oh my
manhã.
God.
Wow. So today you're leaving at 1. I mean, tomorrow, right?
Uhum.
Wow, poor you.
Por isso que semana passada eu não consegui assistir a aula.
Oh, I
Eu acabei que cheguei em casa,
see.
eu hibernei. Só acordei quase na hora de ir pro trabalho.
Oh, very nice. But Marcus, now, did you see on the group, we posted something very nice about replacements. Did you all see that? It's a
Eu
nice
vi lá.
chance to talk about it. Yeah, they are changing the system for replacement. So in case you miss a class, you can just watch the video on YouTube, which is the video of your class because it's being recorded. And then you just do the activity on the book, take a picture,
Uhum.
send to your teacher, right, via WhatsApp, and your class is replaced. You see how nice? But you have to watch the video.
Uhum.
Okay, that's the thing. So last week, Marcus, the class was recorded. So you can watch that and then you just send me a message because we had a different class last week because we didn't use the book, but we watched a video about a topic from this lesson today. And you can just watch it because I posted there. It's on our playlist. I will post on our group the link for you to access our playlist. And then after you watch, Marcus, you just send me a message because then what do they want us to do? They want us to print the message, say that you understood everything, everything is okay, you don't have any questions. And if we use the book, you take a picture of the book just to show that your exercises are correct or done. But if you don't have the book, it's okay. You just tell me that you watched the video, and I will print this conversation. I have to print and send a copy of this conversation to the course. And
Eu entrei
so,
no grupo.
oh, great. Very nice,
Eu só não,
Marcus.
eu só não consegui participar nenhum ainda, mas eu entrei no grupo já.
Which group are you talking about?
Entendi.
I'm talking about watching the video to replace your class. Okay?
Ok.
Okay, Marcus?
Ok, professor.
All right. But I will post more information about it, okay, on the group. Don't worry. Okay? All right, people. So after doing that, of course, dyslexics, for example, I can make a sentence like this. Dyslexics don't write well or don't read well, okay, for example. The next one, pacifists. Pacifists don't agree with war. Pacifists don't agree with war. They don't like war. They don't like violence. Okay? And finally, naturists don't wear clothes outdoors. Naturists don't wear clothes outdoors. They avoid. Okay? So listen to before we move on, I will show you the answers to that one, okay? Just sample sentences about each one of those groups, okay? So let me clear this. All right, let's go here. Check it out, people. If you want, you can print or copy. Look, these are only possible answers, okay? Look, vegetarians don't eat meat, like Lorena said, okay? Atheists don't believe in God. Insomniacs can't sleep or never sleep well. Okay, it's another option. Dyslexics can't spell or can't read well. Spell is write words appropriately. Okay, guys. Pacifists won't fight or won't go to war or don't want to go to war. Naturists don't wear clothes outdoors where possible. All right? Very nice. So after seeing those questions, let's listen to the first part of a description of a man named Fred. And these are his pictures. Look. Oh my goodness. Check it out. He looks very funny here. Is he a comedian? What does he do? Let's say, which words in exercise 4 here describe him? So let's listen and check. Okay, let's go.
Track 5, Part 1.
My friend Fred is a funny guy. He's an insomniac, he's dyslexic, and he's an atheist. He's single, unemployed, and lives all alone in a tiny studio apartment without even a pet for company. Also, he's vegetarian. He's pretty antisocial, actually.
I'll play one more time, okay?
Track 5, Part 1.
My friend Fred is a funny guy. He's an insomniac, he's dyslexic, and he's an atheist. He's single, unemployed, and lives all alone in a tiny studio apartment without even a pet for company. Also, he's vegetarian. He's pretty antisocial, actually.
Wow. So,
Wow.
yeah, incredible, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
which words in the box describe him according to the listening?
Vegetarian?
Insomnia,
Oh,
dyslexic,
good. So let's say insomniacs, okay.
Dyslexic?
I think atheist,
Atheist, okay.
atheist, and vegetarian.
Yes. All right. You see, 4 out of 6. All right, guys. So here they say we should make some negative sentences about him. For example, if he's an insomniac, then he can't sleep well. Another one, he doesn't have a job, according to what they said there, right? Um, he doesn't eat meat, for example, right? If he is really a vegetarian, then he doesn't eat meat. And he doesn't believe in God. Okay, guys, pretty much the same ones we wrote up here. Okay. Now, let's see if these things are really true about him. They're giving us a tip here on the expression or the question pronoun, how come? Remember we saw on the other page the meaning of how come.
Yes.
Do you remember? Ah, so we use how come to ask why, but it's usually in a surprise situation, okay? Look at the box. How come can be used in informal spoken English instead of why. You see? So informal, this is very important. Informal spoken English. okay? They do not have exactly the same meaning. Listen to the questions which express surprise. So let's listen to that.
Track 6.
Why can't he sleep?
How come he can't sleep?
Why did he lose his job?
How come he lost his job? He loved his work.
Listen one more time.
Track 6.
Why can't he sleep?
How come he can't sleep?
Why did he lose his job?
How come he lost his job? He loved his work.
Okay, so the questions here on the left, they start with why. So here we can see that there is a slight difference in meaning when we use why and when we use how come. So the first one says, why can't he sleep? My question is not an expression of surprise. I just want to have information to understand the reason why he can't sleep. Okay, so suppose I'm like a psychologist. Okay, I'm a psychologist, and I'm talking to his best friend, not to Fred, but to his best friend. And his best friend is describing Fred. He's saying, oh, I have this friend. His name is Fred. Um, he thinks he's an insomniac because he doesn't sleep properly. He doesn't sleep well. And then as a doctor, I ask, or as a psychologist, I ask, why can't he sleep? What are the reasons? Does he drink coffee at night? Does he play sports before going to sleep? I want to investigate. That's the idea when I ask with why, okay? I want to understand the reason. So let me. The next one, it's the same idea. Why did he lose his job? So suppose you are his best friend and you are talking to a psychologist. Imagine, I am the psychologist, and they tell me, Simone, he lost his job. Can you believe it? And I say, why did he lose his job? Did he used to arrive late every day because he had sleeping problems? Probably he wasn't able to arrive on time. So was he usually late for work? So I want to know the reason why he lost his job, okay? Now here, if I ask using how come, then I'm not really looking for an explanation. I'm just showing shock or surprise because of this information. It's like, imagine now, um, let's see this situation. You, you are his best friend and you're talking to me as a psychologist. You want to have some advice, right? And then you say, oh, my best friend, my roommate, he watches TV all night long. All night long. He watches Big Brother. He watches TV series. So, and then I show surprise when I hear this. I say, how come he can't sleep? He's healthy. There is nothing wrong with him. How come he can't sleep? Right? So the situation is different when I ask how come. It's more like a surprise because you just tell me that he watches TV all night. So he can't sleep because he watches TV, not because he has a health issue. Okay? And then I ask, how come he can't sleep? I think he should turn off the TV and go to bed. All right, people. So do you understand the difference?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes, here it's more like a surprise. It's not asking for information. Okay. Last class, Kainan, he used an expression that really exemplifies the meaning of how come. And I'd like to share with you. He said, "Como assim?" Okay, it's like that. How come he can't sleep? He doesn't have to wake up early. He watches TV all night. So how come he can't sleep? Okay, all right. That's the idea. Como assim? Okay. Here, how come he lost his job? He loved his work. So I don't understand. And it's difficult to believe because he loved his work. So how come he lost his job? All right. That's why it's different from simply asking, why did he lose his job? Here, you want to know right information about it. You want to know what exactly happened. Okay? All right, Marcus. Okay?
Ok.
Another thing to notice that when I use why, I have to use the auxiliary verb in the sentence before the subject. Look here. You have the auxiliary verb right there. Look. Can't, did, okay? But here, when I use how come, the auxiliary verb, when it exists, right? I'm going to use after the subject. So I'm going to put it right here, different position. This is like a statement, not a question, okay? How come he can't sleep, right? Here, how come he lost his job? So here, why did he lose? Why did he lose? And here, how come he lost? Okay, so it's totally different. In this case, when I use how come, the verb with the auxiliary everything comes after the subject, okay? The same thing happens here. So if we just read the second part, ignoring the question pronoun, it's going to be, he can't sleep, he lost his job. A statement, not a question. Okay? All right, people.
Okay, teacher.
All right.
So when I use how come, I have to use a statement, not a question form. Even though it's a question. Okay. All right, people. All right.
Okay.
Now let's see there. We're going to practice that a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to send some exercises for you to do using how come and using why. Okay, so you can practice. The best way to really understand this and use more confidently is when you do exercises. So let's see the next one. Listen to the full description of Fred. There are lots of contradictions. Complete the questions about him using how come. So first, we're going to listen, okay? And then we are going to complete the questions, okay? So first of all, let's just listen, okay? Go.
Track 7. Part 2.
I went over to see Fred last Sunday. As I walked up the driveway, his dog started barking. His wife answered the door, and she called for Fred to come downstairs and join us in the living room. He was in a bad mood because he had overslept that morning and had been late for church. They'd had a wild party at his house the night before. They'd had a barbecue in the backyard with steaks and burgers. One of his favorite pastimes is doing crosswords, and he spends every lunch break at work doing them. So, how are you, Fred? I asked him. Okay, my friend. Okay. How about you? Anyway, as I said, Fred's an insomniac, dyslexic atheist. So the joke is that he lies awake all night wondering about the existence of dog. Get it?
All right, people, could you get some contradictions? Could you get some? Yes. So some things about him don't really match. There is something different. So I will play now one more time, but with the transcript, okay? So let's watch this once again.
Track 7. Part 2.
I went over to see Fred last Sunday. As I walked up the driveway, his dog started barking. His wife answered the door, and she called for Fred to come downstairs and join us in the living room. He was in a bad mood because he had overslept that morning and had been late for church. They'd had a wild party at his house the night before. They'd had a barbecue in the backyard with steaks and burgers. One of his favorite pastimes is doing crosswords, and he spends every lunch break at work doing them. So, how are you, Fred? I asked him. Okay, my friend. Okay. How about you? Anyway, as I said, Fred's an insomniac, dyslexic atheist. So the joke is that he lies awake all night wondering about the existence of dog. Get it?
Very funny indeed. Okay. So here we
Well,
have, yes?
if he was a vegetarian, how come he eats a barbecue?
Yeah, you see? This is the reason why they said there are lots of contradictions.
If he was Athens, I think it is pronunciation.
It's
Uh,
difficult.
how
Atheist.
how come
Carne de soja.
he went to the church?
Yeah, you see? A lot of contradictions there, right? And here, he is an insomniac. How come he overslept?
Yeah.
How come? Okay. So another one here, they say that he's single. Single. Wait a minute. How come he's single? His
His wife.
wife answered the door. Yeah. Look, he doesn't have any pets. No way. How come his dog started barking? Okay. So he's an atheist. So how come he went to church? There's so many.
Just a sec.
Very good, Lorena. He went there just to check, right? Okay, I love it. So let's see if we have the answers to that. Yeah, we do. Let's check it out. So here we have the answers. If you want, you can print or get a screenshot. Look. All right, I'll move down a little bit so you can get the other ones. Yeah, this is so funny. They said that he was dyslexic. So how come one of his favorite pastimes is doing crosswords?
Yeah, because the words are, I don't know, the letters are embaralhadas. How can I
Yes,
say?
yes. The letters are usually the words are scrambled, and it's not very simple for people who aren't dyslexic to solve crosswords.
Yeah.
So it's not that simple. All right. And here he's a vegetarian, so how come he had a barbecue with steaks and burgers? And here he's an antisocial, or he's antisocial. So how come he had a wild party? So, okay, guys, did you get all of them?
Yeah.
And as you can observe here, all the questions with how come have a statement format. They don't have a question format. They have a statement format, affirmative or negative. But we have, after how come, we have the sequence subject, verb, and complement. Here the same, look. How come his dog started barking? So this is a statement form, okay? Or affirmative form, if I can say that way. How come he had been late? Again, affirmative, okay, statement. The same thing, look. None of the questions are in the question form as we know them, because usually question form is when I put the verb first and then the subject, right? The verb, the auxiliary verb always comes first, okay? So of course here, just reviewing what I just said, not to make you more confused, in normal questions, I usually start either with a question pronoun, then I put the auxiliary verb, then the subject, and then the main verb, okay? For example, questions with why. If I change here, suppose the question is, how come he had a wild party? If I asked with why, I would say, why did he have a wild party? Okay, why did he have a wild party? Of course, the idea it would be different. Okay, when I ask with why, I really want to investigate. I want to know what happened and everything. How come is more like when I'm shocked or surprised. Okay.
Teacher, what is
Yes,
the meaning of a wild party?
a wild party. Let's see. Does anybody know? What does a wild party mean?
Uh, it's like a crazy party with many things, and it's like algo diferente, algo tipo assim muito agitado, muito,
Yes,
sei
like
lá,
a
algo assim.
yeah, it's like a big party full of people, right?
With people dancing on the table and
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. A
and
very
and
yeah.
I remember when people drink too much, dançando na boquinha da
Yes.
garrafa.
Já se acabou com isso, né?
It's like this.
Yes. Exactly. That's right, Sabrina.
É
Okay,
tipo
you.
uma festa selvagem.
My
Entendeu,
goodness.
Lorena? Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
Yes. Wild party. Okay. So, all these things here are strange, right? All the information they had given before, they are contradictory because in reality, something else happened. So, how come? Okay, guys. So, we can respond to a statement with a short question to ask for more information. So, this is another interesting tip. For example, one person says, "Oh, Fred had a barbecue in the backyard." And then I want to know who was there, who was present. I can just say, "Who with?" Who with? Okay? So he had a party uh, with whom, right? What kind of people were there? Who were present at this wild party? Especially now. Now we are in a pandemic, right? As everybody knows. And we can't have parties, let alone wild parties. They are prohibited, right? So we can't go to parties, we can't have parties, nothing like that. So suppose you tell me, "Oh, listen, Simone, I went to a wild party last night." And I just go, "How come?" It's prohibited. We are in a pandemic. Who with? Okay, so when I say who with, I'm asking the people who were also there. Who were the people who broke the rule and disobeyed the curfew? Because we are living in a curfew. We are social distancing. So how come you went to a party, right? Okay, guys. So who
Yes.
with? And then next one, he lies awake all night wondering. He lies awake means when he stays in bed but not sleeping. Okay, so it's when you go to sleep but you don't actually fall asleep. All right, and then you start thinking. You think about life. You think about um, many different things, but you don't sleep. And then,
Bills.
yes, you start counting, right? Oh, yes, Marcus. Yes, let me do it now. Sorry, guys. Let me take a picture now and then we continue, okay? Just a moment. So let's go. Here we have the situation of making a question really short when I just want to ask for more information. So, like we saw here, next one, he lies awake all night wondering. Then we can ask, what about? Okay, so this is very simple. We use that in Portuguese too, when we want to ask for more information. So write short questions with a preposition to respond to these statements. So as you can notice, we are still using the topic of asking questions. Okay, different ways to ask questions. In this case here, we are practicing short questions, okay, with a preposition. Let's see the first one. She gave away all her money. So what is the question that arises when you hear that? Suppose we are talking here about Oprah Winfrey, okay? Do you girls know Oprah Winfrey? Yeah?
I don't know.
You never heard of Oprah? No? So let me find somebody.
Oprah.
Oprah, yeah, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody knows that she's a philanthropist. She likes helping a lot of people, right? And she's always donating money to institutions and things like that. But suppose we hear something, we read a newspaper headline or we watch on a site somewhere that Oprah Winfrey gave away all her money. So what can you ask? One question you can ask is,
How
how
come?
come? Yes. How come?
How come?
Yes. But in the exercise, they want us to ask questions with a preposition. So here, instead of asking, how come, we could ask, for example, we want to know who received all that money, right? So we are going to ask, who to?
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
So it's like
Okay.
this. If I put this question in the complete format, I would say, who did she give all her money to? Who did she give all her money to? Okay, but I can make it shorter. I can just eliminate this and keep only the first and the last. Who to? Okay. Number two,
Okay.
can I have a word with you, please?
What about?
Yes, great, Lorena. So let's put here number two. Mhm. Okay. Now, number three, I danced all night.
Who with?
Who with?
Who
Can
with?
be. Yes, sure. Okay. Do you think you could give me a ride?
Mm,
Suppose you you're driving and I'm walking and you see me, right? Walking there. And I just ask you, oh, how nice. Oh, thank you so much for stopping. Oh, that's great. Do you think you could give me a ride if I ask you this?
Could
Because,
I?
yes. So if I ask you that, you could say the first thing you want to know is where I'm going, right? So that you can give me a
yeah.
ride. So naturally, you would say, where to? Okay.
Well,
Where to? All right, people, because you need to know so that you can evaluate if you are able or if you can give me a ride. Okay. So if you ask me, suppose the other way around, I'm driving and I see you walking. I stop and then you are not feeling very well, suppose. You ask me, oh, Simone, do you think you could give me a ride? And I say, oh, sure. Where to? Okay. I think it's better for you to understand.
Okay.
Now, number five, I got a nice present today.
Who to?
Not really to. It would be who. Who is okay.
Who gave?
Who gave?
Gave is not a preposition.
Um,
You have to use a
um,
preposition. Who from?
who from?
Yes.
I never heard
Yes.
this
Who from?
before.
Yeah. Because you want to know who gave you this nice present. So you ask, who from? Okay. Excuse me, people. Number 6. I bought a birthday card today.
Mm, what about?
A birthday card. So here, the question shouldn't be really what about, but you want to know, suppose I tell you, oh, I bought a birthday card today, a beautiful birthday card.
Who for?
Ah,
Who
okay.
for?
Here, actually, we say who to, okay?
Okay.
To.
Okay.
Number 7. Shh, I'm thinking.
What about?
What about?
Yes. What are you
Or how
thinking?
come? How
Yeah,
come?
how come it's more like surprise? Here, you wouldn't show surprise. You wouldn't show surprise in a situation like this. If I say, I'm thinking, you wouldn't say, how come?
Okay.
No, it's like, is it, is it something wrong that I'm thinking? No. So the best way here would be if I say, shh, I'm thinking, you could ask, what about? Okay. Again, that would be good for number 7. And finally, I need, oh my God, look, I need $5,000 desperately.
How come?
Very good, Lorena. You can ask how come, but again, in the exercise, they want us to use a preposition. So let's save how come for later, okay? Let's use another question here.
Or do you think I have tree money?
Do you think I have all that money? Oh man. But then let's, yes, that's okay too. But in the
Look my
exercise,
face.
look at me, right? Yes. But in the exercise, we need to use a preposition. So we have to create a sentence or create a question that can have a preposition and make sense here.
What about?
What about? Hmm, when I want to
No.
know the purpose, when I want to know the purpose of something, so which preposition do I use?
The first question I ask is, quê?
Sorry?
Em português, I ask, para que você precisa? Tipo,
Ah,
para quê?
that's the question. That's the question. So this question is what I'm looking for in English. How do we say that in English? What for?
What for?
Yes,
Oh, what for?
yes. Okay, that's
Okay.
exactly what you said, but in Portuguese, right? In English is what for?
What for?
Yes. So let's check the answers, people. Yes. Let's see here. everything is, so let me organize here. So the first one, who to, the second one, what about, I put here number 2. So this one here, guys, that I wrote is number 1, okay? Let me just fix. So, okay, oops. Number 2, what about? Number 3, who with? I think I wrote number 3 on the book page. Number 4.
Here, teacher. Near number 7. Who is?
Yes,
You wrote here.
yes, that's true. Who with? Okay. Number 4, thank you, thank you, Sabrina. Where to? Number 5, who from? Okay. Number 6, who for? Where is number 6? I put who to. Oh, but I can also say who to. It's okay to. Anyway, if you want, you can change to who for, like you said. There is always this confusion when I buy something for someone or I buy something to someone, right? So sometimes we can hear people saying, oh, to you, or oh, to me, oh, thank you. All right. But it's also some cases we can use for. So that's a little confusing. I will check that for you guys to show you which one should we use more often, okay? 2 or 4 when I'm talking about buy something to give to a person, like a present, a card, okay? So let me just change here and I will search so I can give you the right explanation and the right information about it, okay? Which preposition is better? Number 7, let's see there. What about? Okay, correct. Number 8, what for? Now let's see if we have any other. Let me just move here. Where is number 9? Oh, there is just, yeah,
Number 9.
there is no number 9, only 8. So I just put this how come here because I was giving you the first example. But all the questions are here, okay, from number 1 to number 8. If you want, you can print, you can get a screenshot, okay? And this one here, I will search and send you the explanation for that, okay? All right, can I clear the drawings, the annotations? Yeah,
Yeah, teacher.
okay,
Yeah, teacher.
good, thank you. Okay, guys, so all this was on this page number 28, okay? Finally here they say, make the short questions into longer ones. So now it's the other way around. It's when you enlarge the sentences, the questions. For example, she gave away all her money. So the question would be who to? You see here, when you give away your money, according to the answer, look, who to? So she gave her money to someone, okay? But when you give a present to a person, but you buy something for someone, that's maybe the difference, right? Between give and buy. When I use the verb buy and I'm including someone, I'm going to give that to someone, I say for. I'm buying this for my mother. Oh, I'm buying flowers for my best friend. Okay, but when I use the verb give, then the preposition changes. You give to someone. Okay, all right, girls. So probably that's a very good way of correcting this mistake here. I bought a birthday card today. Oh, who for? Okay, because of the verb to buy. All right. But when anyway, it's a matter of interpretation, because when you buy a birthday card, I understand that you will give this birthday card to a person or send this birthday card to someone via regular mail. I don't know. So that's why
Yeah,
my
we
first question was who to. It means who are you going to give it to? Okay. That's why in this case, they should consider both answers correct. Okay. Because you give to a person something that you bought. So, but that's okay. No problem at all. Okay. Let's move on. And then I will
okay.
explain. I will search more about it, and then I'll give you a better answer.
Okay.
Let's see number 8. Make the short questions into longer ones. Example, who did Fred have a barbecue with? Because in the situation, he had a barbecue. Okay, so here, look, I think it's, yeah, in number 7, right? They say that he's a vegetarian, so how come he had a barbecue? And also here, Fred had a barbecue in the backyard. You might say, who with? Who with? Longer. Who did Fred have a barbecue with? Okay. Next one. He lies awake all night wondering. What about? So, what is he wondering about? Okay. Uh, that would be an idea. It's a lot of, I think, trouble opening them up and asking a full sentence, but let's do it. The first one, she gave away all her money. We asked to, who to? So we can say, who did she give all her money to? Okay. Who did she give away all her money to? Or who did she give all her money to? That's a possibility too. Can I have a word with you, please? About what? Okay. Or what about? We can also invert. Okay. We can say about what? Or you can say what about? Right, girls? So what do you want to have a word with me about? Okay. So this is, you see, complicated. It's a little complicated. Let me just
Yeah,
zoom
it's
in.
complicated.
Yeah. And boring at the same time. Complicated and boring. So let's just do the first one. I mean, the second one. Somebody says, can I have a word with you, please? And then you say, oops, I think I'm becoming dyslexic. What do you want?
Me too, teacher.
It's incredible. I think because we read so much that we start having these bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to have? What do you want to talk about? Let's put it this way, because have a word um, is an expression that we mainly use in questions. Um, yes, no questions, right? We don't use that with information questions, with WH questions. It's more common with yes, no questions, like, can I have a word with you, please? So what do you want to talk about? This is more common. Okay. I danced.
Okay.
I danced all night. Our question was who with? Okay, so we would say
Who did
yes.
you dance all night?
With.
With.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Who did you dance all night with? Or who did you dance with? Could be, okay? Number 4. Let me just mark here and put the numbers. This is number 2, number 3. Now, number 4. Do you think you could give me a ride? Our question was, where to? So let's put here. Where are you going to? Where are you going to? Okay.
Okay.
Number 5, I got a nice present today. Our question was, who from? Okay, so I'm going to put down here. So number 5, oops, sorry.
Who did you get?
Yes,
A
very
nice
good.
present today from?
Who did you get a nice present from? You don't need to
From,
put
okay.
today, okay? Who did you get a
Okay.
nice present from? I bought a birthday card today. So number 6, let's
Who
go.
to?
Who for? Remember,
Who for?
is you
Okay.
buy something for someone. In this case, they only consider who for, okay? So let's make it long. Who did you
Buy
buy a birthday
a birthday card
for
for?
for.
Okay. Who did you
Okay.
buy a birthday card for? Try to ask this. Who did you buy a birthday card for?
who did you buy a birthday card for?
Okay,
Who did
good.
you buy a birthday card for?
All right. Maybe in the answer, they will include the word today. So you can say, who did you buy a birthday card for today? Okay, usually the adverb of time comes in the end. Okay, so here you could put today there, right? In the end. So who did you buy a birthday card for today? Right? But it's easier and
Okay.
it's more common to not repeat the word today and just put, who did you buy a birthday card for? That's okay, right? Number 7, shh, I'm thinking. This is easy. Look, what are you?
What are you thinking?
In about?
Yes, very nice. What are you thinking about? This is even interesting to do. It's like a puzzle, right? it,
Yeah.
feels like a puzzle. Number 7, I need $5,000 desperately. So let's write. Our question was, what
What for?
for? Yes.
Okay.
What? Simple present. What?
What do you need?
Ah,
What
yes.
do you
5,000
Uh-huh.
desperately.
What do you
$1,000
need $5,000
for?
for? What do you need $5,000 for? You don't need to put desperately. If you want, okay, you can put here after the amount of money. What do you need 5,000? Sorry, what do you need $5,000 desperately for? Can be, okay? But in natural
Okay.
conversation, we don't repeat desperately or even today in the other sentence. It's not necessary. So you just say, oh, what do you need $5,000 for? Okay, or what do you need 5,000 for? Even better. Okay, let's check. Okay, let me get my sentences here. Oh yeah, the first one we didn't write. So who did she give it to, or who did she give her money to? Okay, now number two, what do you want to have a word about? It's okay too, but I can also say, what do you want to talk about? Okay, here. All right, people, it's possible to say have a word,
Yes.
but we don't usually say that, like I said, we don't usually say that with WH questions like this. What do you want to have a word about? No, what do you want to talk about? Okay, it's easier, but both are correct. Number three, who did you dance with? Yes, there you go. Like I said, it's not necessary to use all night, okay? But it's okay also, no problem. So who did you dance all night with? Number four, where do you want to where do you want a ride to? We put where are you going to? It's the same, people. It's just because they're using the exact words, right? But it's super okay to ask like this, okay? Where are you going to? And it's even more common, okay? Number five, who did you get it from? Let me see. Yes, this one. Instead of using a nice present, they put the pronoun, okay? This is the only change. Who did you get it from? Okay. Number six, who did you buy it for? Okay. So, like I'm saying here, they are using, instead of the word, they are substituting it for the pronoun it. If you see that, look, most sentences they're doing it. Number one, number five, number six, okay? But it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all to say the nouns, okay? So
Okay.
who did you buy a birthday card for? Like I said here, they did not repeat the words today. It's not necessary, okay? So you can finish your question with for. I guess these are the only ones. Aren't there any more? I don't think so.
I 7, I think.
The second one I've done already. Just the first one. Oh yeah, there is number 7 and number 8. Yeah, let's go. Let's check it out. Let me just move here. Sorry, guys. Number 2 up here. Number 3 there. Gosh, what a big mess. Number 5. Number 6. Okay. Number 7. What are you thinking about? Yay, we nailed it. And the last one, what do you need $5,000 for? Or what do you need it for? Okay, you can substitute, no problem. Okay. Here, this one here, it's even more common to say with the pronoun instead of repeating. All the situations when you can avoid repetition, all the situations are better. We substitute, we use a pronoun, and then it's okay, right? But if you want to repeat the word, it's okay too, right? No problem. Okay, can I clear? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Good. Let me clear my drawings. So this is it for this page. Okay, so on this page, guys, we learned a lot about questions with prepositions. And we also saw Some questions with how come and why, the difference, okay? When to use why, the meaning, when to use how come, and the meaning. Usually when we are expressing surprise, okay, or maybe disbelief, okay? All right, do you have any other questions about this page? No? Can we move on?
No, teacher.
Yes, we have just,
Yes.
yeah, we just have a few minutes to go and we still have to do all, yeah, all these pages. So let's go to this one here, guys. Page 29. Secrets and lies. This is very simple, no big deal. Did you ever tell lies or play practical jokes as a child? So let me just highlight here. What are practical jokes? First of all, I posted on Google Classroom a definition for you, okay? So, but do you know what practical jokes are?
Uma piada?
I don't know, maybe something for to do fear a fear for a child, like you haven't to for you haven't to do something because this is it is maybe you can say uh, o homem do saco vai te pegar, algo assim. Tipo assim, algumas
No,
mentiras que você conta para poder proteger a criança, para poder ela não fazer nada que seja
oh,
perigoso para si mesma.
okay, I understand. No, that's not what practical jokes are. Okay.
Ah, tá, eu acho
No,
que foi isso.
no. Practical jokes are things that you do, not things that you say, right?
Ah, ok.
Yeah, when you tell a joke, for example, you say it, you make people laugh because of the things you said. You create a funny story, or you, okay? Um, a practical joke is something that you actually do for many reasons. To make fun of somebody, or just to make the person feel embarrassed or in an awkward situation. Let me show you the definition. I have it right here. Just a second.
Teacher,
Yeah.
can you explain an example for us?
Yes, sure. I'll show you the definition and then I'll show you the example too. Let me minimize here. It's very simple. When, for example, people on YouTube, they love doing this. People who post videos on YouTube, they like to post videos of practical jokes. It's when, for example, um, suppose you have a friend who is super afraid of ghosts, okay? You
Ah,
know that for a fact. You know this friend is super afraid of ghosts. Then you decide to have, I don't know, a dinner party in your house, in your place, and you invite some friends, including this friend you know is afraid of ghosts. And then you decide to play a practical joke. You ask, for example, your father or your husband to dress up like a ghost. And suddenly, you create the situation. You turn off the lights, right? As if you had a power surge or something, and then everybody stays like this, a little nervous, because a power surge is something that we are not expecting, especially during a dinner party. right? Then you have this power surge, and suddenly this person, which is the ghost, comes walking and crosses the living room, and everybody goes,
Oh my God.
and your friend,
Okay, okay,
especially your friend, oh my God,
okay.
poor friend.
How come?
Yes, how come? I just saw a ghost, and he's really dressed up like a ghost with this white sheet covering him from head to toe, and you can't see anything. So you go like, "Oh my God, your house is haunted." So
Okay.
that's a practical joke. So here we have the explanation. Look, let me just make it bigger for you and share the definition. Just a second. We go here. Oh, right. It's a little small, but I'll try to. Okay, now I think we can see better. Look, guys, a practical joke is practical. The name practical is because it consists of someone doing something that is physical, in contrast to a verbal or written joke. For example, the joker who is setting up and conducting the practical joke might hang a bucket of water, suppose, okay, above a doorway and rig the bucket using pulleys. So the door opens, the bucket dumps the water. So if you open the door, automatically you and you get all
Yeah,
wet.
like a
So
waterfall.
yeah, the Joker would then wait for the victim to walk through the doorway and be drenched by the bucket of water.
Oh
Objects
my God.
can feature, yeah, practical jokes like, this is horrible. Objects can feature practical jokes like, for example, fake vomit, chewing gum bugs, exploding cigars, stink bombs, costumes, like I said, the ghost, whoopee cushions, and Chinese finger traps. So we have many things you can use to play a practical joke. All right, girls. I posted this definition on Google Classroom so you can read later. Okay? Sorry,
Okay,
girls.
teacher.
It's very nice. So I would like to ask you to please read the rest of the page, and then we can discuss next class because I know our time is up. So I'm just showing you the answers to the first exercise, okay? So here, of course, we won't be able to listen to the radio program or the radio show now because we're running out of time. But here, what we have to do is listen to four people calling in to a radio program called Confessions. Match the pictures with the confessions and correct the statements. So here the pictures are matched. The first one is picture B, okay? Uh, Number two is related to picture C, this one here, right? Number three, picture A, and number four is the last one, picture D. Yes, this one here. So you can copy those, and next week we will discuss and see what really happened. Okay, guys, and then we continue that. So let me just show you guys what we learned today, what we talked about today, because there was a lot of information, right? So first, we talked about negatives. We analyzed some questions, different kinds of questions in English. Then we saw how to ask questions, but in a negative, with a negative verb. So we call them negative interrogative. Okay, this is the negative interrogative form we usually see in books. And what's the meaning of that? We can use, and what are the situations to use negative interrogative? When expressing surprise or when checking information. Okay, like, don't you like pizza? Okay, haven't we met? So this is the idea. We practiced a little bit, and after that, we went on to see some groups of people, right? And we discussed the use of how come and why, the difference, okay? And then we learned all that because we were preparing to listen to something about this guy here, whose name is Fred. And there were a lot of contradictions in his story. And we were supposed to correct using how come. Okay, so always remember, we use how come when we express surprise or disbelief. Okay, just to finish, and that's where we spent most of the time on, was making short questions, finishing the question with a preposition. So we saw here, who with, what about, who for, right? Who with, what about, many others, right? What for, in the case of the last one here, I need $5,000. What for? Okay. And then we saw how to make the sentence large again, complete again. So people, this is what we learned. The homework for today, I posted here. Yes, it says here, look, homework. You should focus on workbook pages 24, 25, and 26, and online practice, listening 3, big business, okay? If you can, take a look at the extra material I posted. It will help you, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Next class we continue. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye, Lorena. Have a nice
Bye,
weekend.
teacher.
Bye,
You
Sabrina.
too,
Have
teacher.
a nice weekend. See you. Take care. Bye.